And opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show. I am Bill Napick, hosting the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. This is where America tunes in to hear great real estate talk, interesting people all the time. So whether you are listening in Houston, Texas, Katy, Texas, Magnolia, Texas, Washington, D.C., or anywhere else, we think you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting people. Today, we have incredibly driven, accomplished people, ambitious people, and great people. As always, we are brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. And now we have Dan Naef. He is the president of Rise Communities. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be back here again.
You know, I use the word ambition. Man, tell people about your two developments right here in the Houston area.
Well, we don't do anything small in the great state of Texas, so we opened not one but two large master plan communities. They're unique by design. It's what we do. Our tagline for the community for Rise, the developing company, is creative social ecosystems. Effectively, that's really what we're building. So we have two. One is in Katy, Texas, 1,000 acres, which by definition is the smallest project we've ever done. And by the way, that one just won the PRISM Award for Best Landscaping, Best Entrance, Best Rec Center, and Community of the Year just last Saturday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And then Meridiana, which is just ready to open up, is on 288, just south of 6.
Both beautiful. I have been to Cane Island, and the great thing is that if someone's driving there, they take the Cane Island exit. There's no way to get messed up, right, Dan?
You can't miss it now. Yeah, it took a long time, but the new exit just west of the Pin Oak exit at on Highway 10 is the new Cane Island Parkway exit. Yeah, simply get off of that, head north. We talk about commute times, and there's really two commutes. There's that commute from your front door to the major highway, and then from the second commute being from the major highway to wherever you're going. Oftentimes, that first commute could be the worst. At Cane Island, then now that the new interchange is up and open, 3 minutes or less from any front door, any time of day, any day of the week, front door to I-10.
And Dan, you mentioned the award and the things that it encompasses as far as the entrance. Let's paint a picture, if you would, of Cane Island, because you have incorporated, there are a lot of great developments around Houston, have been. However, you have incorporated ideas that others just, quite frankly, haven't thought of. Paint that picture for us, Dan.
It starts at the entrance. We have Cane Island. There's a 3-acre lake with 7 30-foot tall fountains. We generally have them lit up at night at white, but we're all about Katy culture. So, for instance, when the Katy Tigers are playing, we light them all up Katy Tiger red. But then it really starts to get pretty cool. We had 2 sculptures built for us out in Nevada, where our company used to be from. And they're about 100 feet long, and so you drive under this sculpture. Because we like the sense of arrival being something you drive under, creates kind of a decompression, I'm home, I can relax, versus something you drive beside. So we have these 2 sculptures, one going into the community, one exiting. Again, they're about 100 feet long each. They're steel vines with glass leaves, and it's an arch system. And then blanketed over these sculptures is a real vine, so growing in between them. That's what it looks like during the day. But at night, we control each leaf individually. So, for instance, the fall, the program should open up the next couple of nights. All the leaves will be this burnt orange color, and they'll look like they're just gently floating down the arches. But the arches sense when the car is approached. So when the car does approach the arch, the leaves will blow up around the car as if the car stirred them up. Hopefully that'll work that way. Then, of course, from there you get into our Amenity Village, and that's the heart of the community. That starts with our ambassador hub, a golden retriever that lives in the Amenity Village by day, goes home with the vice president and his family during the night. And we have a conservatory with over 7,000 plants, 2-story fitness center, welcome center, concierge service with a lifestyle coordinator full-time, adult lap pool, family pool, separate luxury lap pool, a family pool with custom cabanas. and we have a multi-purpose room with a full commercial restaurant, an open-air loft with a fireplace, and then we get back full circle to our Pooch hub, the Ambassador. In addition to the multi-purpose room, we have what we call the Outdoor Cafe. It's an octagon-shaped building, 2 stories. Cafe is on the bottom. On the top floor, you can reach it via the treehouse that we have out there, is Hub's Ambassador Suite. And so it's a luxury overnight stay. And let's say you're a resident at Cane Island, it's your anniversary, your kid's birthday, your friends are in town.
Radio host.
Radio rock star host, you know. All you got to do is come out there and pitch it to Hub and why you think you should get his suite for the night. If Hub likes the idea, he always likes the idea. Then he brings the keys to your front door, and you get the suite, the open air loft, the treehouse, and Hub even buys everyone dinner.
That is awesome. And, of course, people may not know this. They probably don't. I met Hub, and we got along very well. In fact, I brought him 2 of our Stewart dog dishes. I hope he's enjoying that. But that is from marketing and also from making people feel well because people love pets. It's a masterful stroke, Dan, to have an ambassador like that, not just at Cane Island Hub, killer guy, but also at your other location, other development, Meridiana.
Yeah, at Meridiana. Some of the some similar amenities. We also have a conservatory at Meridiana. It's actually over the lake, so it's a little different. You know, we every time you build a new community, you continue to rise the bar. So that was one thing we did for Meridiana. But a lot of similar amenities to Cane Island. The ambassador for Meridiana is a beautiful female golden retriever. Her name is Soleil, which is French for sun, because there's a whole segment we could do just on that. But sticking with just Soleil here, she's a little bit more sophisticated, perhaps, than Hub. So instead of a suite, she elected to have a yacht on the lake that sleeps 6. So that's Soleil's yacht.
That sounds beautiful. Anxious to see Meridiana. Now, is Meridiana open right now?
It is open. In fact, both of our communities, every weekend in October, we're celebrating Apple Fest, which is our version of a harvest festival. So I would encourage people to go out to either community. Meridiana, its grand opening won't be till next year when the Meridiana exit is complete on 288. But certainly all the amenities are there. Phenomenal builders. Meridiana's price point is $250,000 to $800,000. Cane Islands is, say, $260,000 to about $2.5 million.
And tell us, in either or both, what are the things that you hear back from people about 2 things? One, let's take Cane Island. What do you hear when people visit Cane Island? What kind of comments do they have? What kind of buzz is being created about the community? And also, what do they say about the enhancement of having great ambassadors like these 2 golden retrievers? They
love the ambassadors. The most common phrase we hear at Cane Island, which is a little bit more mature, it's been open, its grand opening was in March, so it's had a little bit more time frame. But the most common remark is about halfway through looking at the amenities and touring the amenities, I feel like I'm living in a resort. And we love that. And, of course, the next most common phrase we love to hear is, I'm ready to move. Same with Meridiana.
That's right. And it does have that feel so that when people live there, and I think so many places strive for that, but they don't accomplish it, to have that idea of coming home and living, quote, in a resort or having that resort feel, that just makes life so much better, not to mention all the other amenities that you have that people can enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. We've been doing this a long time, and we always say master plan communities are about doing a million little things correct, because one thing is to build the infrastructure, then that for the utilities. The second is the infrastructure that creates community, which is more important, and then finally it's how to really create that sense of community for the residents, and it's little things like Hub, the Ambassador Suite, having a full-time lifestyle coordinator in both communities. Meridiana, we made an unprecedented commitment to education. All of those items create community.
Very interesting. Also, on a personal word, Dan, tell people, as no matter what they are, a real estate professional or anybody else listening, we all want to be successful. and to do two big developments, as we've mentioned, Cane Island, and it's caneisland.com, right?
Yes, sir. CaneIsland.com and MeridianaTexas.com.
But to do two things that are of such a scale and so distinctive, as an individual, that I mean, you're quite an ambitious fella to come to Houston just a few years ago to do this. Give us a success tip about ambition or the things that drive you.
Well, for me personally, and I would say more importantly than me personally, for the entire RISE team, we are absolutely passionate about what we're doing. So much so that the vice president, Mr. Matt Lawson, as well as myself, we always live in a community that we develop, and so we're enjoying the fact that we're just about ready to move into Cane Island because that's where our corporate office is. But you can't. It's passion and experience, and again, that's the entire team and our wonderful crew of stable, I should say, of consultants.
No question about it. Exceptional developments by RISE Communities. Dan, tell them again the website.
CaneIsland.com and MeridianaTexas.com.
Thank you, Dan. You are listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Bill Nampick, your host. Stay with us. We're coming back with even more.
Stuart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stuart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stuart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stuart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stuart Title, online at Stuart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And now, we talked about dogs there at Cane Island in Meridiana, Texas. We have the one and only Roseanne Rogers here in Houston. She's been around a long time, and now she's with an organization called Canines for Cops. Roseanne, welcome.
Hi, Bill. Thanks so much for having me on your show.
It is exciting, as always. You know, people just love dogs. We also love dogs when they're ambassadors. We love dogs when they're serving alongside law enforcement professionals every day all over the world. Tell people about Canines for Cops.
Canines for Cops is a unique organization. It's based right here in Houston, but we're a national organization. We grant fully trained canines to law enforcement agencies and schools all across the country and overseas. Internationally, we have a dog in Paris, France, with a raid unit, Canine Liberty. So we believe that no law enforcement agency or school should go without. A lot of times in departments, we all know about budgets, no matter what businesses you're in, or for that matter, in your home life, everyone has a budget. If something happens that's dramatic, all of a sudden there's a void. All of a sudden there's not finances for that. And that happens a lot of times with our law enforcement agencies, that a dog, heaven forbid, would get killed in the line of duty, or perhaps has to retire suddenly, or someone gets sick. That means there's a handler without a partner, without a canine officer. So that's where we step in, because we believe no agency or school should be without.
And that's right. By the very nature of what they do, they are like the law enforcement officer. They are there and they sacrifice their lives sometimes, unfortunately.
Well, they're a team. And also, canines can do what you and I can't do. They can smell better, but smell more so than we can. But also, I think they smell better, maybe not. But
depends on the canine.
Yeah, smelling better meaning the fact that they can sniff out things more than you and I can do as a human can. But also, they're faster. And they don't take sick days or holidays either. They work 24/7 and 365 days a year. So they are the perfect partner, and they have a drive that they want to work and help. And so it's amazing what they can do when they're paired up with a handler and they become a team together. And it's a true partnership together, and they do some astonishing things. We have canines that have taken more than $24 million worth of contraband off the streets, and that's one canine. So I'm telling you, these dogs make a difference in our community to keep our communities and schools safer.
There's no doubt they fight crime, doing a variety of things, but they're also excellent ambassadors for the police department, connecting with the community and all kinds of things.
They are. As a matter of fact, just recently we went to the Pearland Rotary Club, and one of our canines, Canine Mac, came. And Canine Mac is different. I mean, most of our dogs, we say, all law enforcement dogs, just to make it clear, are not pets. We treat them differently. But Mac has a different demeanor where he really is truly an ambassador. He's a people dog, where he is a narcotics. He's dual purpose, so he's apprehension and narcotics dog, but he loves to be around people. He was not on a leash. He was walking around the crowd. I mean, he's a big dog. He's a king shepherd. So he weighs 90 pounds. So already when he comes in a door, you kind of step back a little bit and just go, who is this big dog coming in? He means business, but he's very friendly. But we were talking about that, how the dogs really for schools, people tend to think, oh, there's a dog in school, there's problems, so it's a problem school. Not necessarily at all. This dog is there to protect the school. It's also to give teachers and faculty, as well as students, time if something were to occur. It's also a deterrent. We all know that drugs are everywhere around, anywhere. Doesn't matter what school, there are drugs everywhere. So these dogs are deterrents to make sure more drugs don't come into schools or come into communities. So they really do their dual purpose in so many ways. And with Canine Mac, he did just that. Everyone felt really comfortable, and they wanted to talk about what he's done and what he's accomplished. It's just amazing to see what really can happen.
Very interesting. What is the reaction and response of the students when they see the presence of such an animal?
Well, they're in awe, first of all. I mean, we've done everything from demos for elementary schools to middle school to even high schools. And so the reactions are a little bit different. I mean, obviously, I think that in high school, they're a little more nervous. They kind of comprehend, like, these dogs mean business. And yes, they do mean business. Now, some of the younger kids in elementary schools are still in awe of the fact that police officers here. Somebody from the sheriff's department's here, and they brought a canine. And so it's a little bit different reaction for them. But they really are. It's amazing how we always say it's so hard to keep kids quiet. For some reason, we're able to keep the kids quiet because they really want to learn and they want to know what's going on and what these dogs can do. They're very, very interested. So it's great to be able to go to schools and do demos and talk about safety and talk about being aware of our surroundings and then what canines do as far as part of law enforcement and how they're a major tool that we need them every single day.
And when we talk about the presence, certainly just a police officer on duty, standing somewhere on guard is one thing. Pair that up with a canine that is trained, highly trained.
Right.
It's first of all, it's magnificent, but it also is a great thing because they're there to protect us, the taxpayers.
Well, that's it. And you know what? Canines for Cops actually helps the taxpayers because we are an organization. We rely on donations, but obviously taxpayers' money has to go towards the police departments and schools. And so we're helping supplement that. So any dog ranges in price from $10,000 to $15,000 with training. All dogs do not come from the United States. They come from overseas, internationally, but are then finish their training domestically, and they come from all over the country. We have vendors across the country, depending on where the people are applying for grants, and that's how the dogs are actually distributed. And we don't pick the partners. The handler actually and the dog pick each other. There may be 5 dogs in the mix that have that dual purpose or the purpose that they're wanting to. And after a series of training, they're able to figure out which match is best for them.
Very interesting. Roseanne, there's people listening right now, certainly in the real estate community, realtors, people all over that participate, want to help. Tell people how they can help should they want to help the Canines for Cops.
Well, we have lots of realtors. Of course, you know this, Bill, because I have my real estate license and I've had for many years. And I will always keep it because it's something that I think it's very valuable and I think it's a necessity in this day and age to have. So I think it's wonderful. And a lot of realtors, which I love, are dog lovers as well. And so we're a great organization to get involved with. Maybe that's why I wanted to go into real estate. In the dog business, right? Not the buzz lady anymore, but the canine lady. So the canine lady is telling all of you out there, there's a great way. Time or talent would be terrific to come and help us. But also we have a big fundraiser coming up on October 26th at the JW Marriott. We're honoring the interim Houston Police Chief, Martha Montavo. She's an amazing woman, 36 years of service to the Houston Police Department, and we're honoring her that night. It's also a chance for you to see some of our dogs, our best dogs, in action at a hard dog, fast dog demonstration. So it's a wonderful event. Go to our website, check out the events page, and come join us on October 26th. And if you can on the 26th, we have events throughout the year. And if you want to come volunteer, I'd love to have you in the office.
That would be great. Tell them the website.
It's www.k9S.4COPS.org.
And they can Google that if they miss that S or something else, because it'll pop up.
Yeah, call me.
But there's all kinds of things going on throughout the year, so that is great. What else should people know about Roseanne?
They should know about the fact that we're making a difference every single day. And there's a lot of applications that we have. So your dollar does double duty when you donate to Canines for Cops, and we really appreciate it. And you can actually follow Canines. You can see statistics on our website on what they're actually doing and follow them on a daily basis of how they're making a difference in our communities.
So if someone is out of town that particular date or can't go to an event, they could just go to the website and make a donation like the number 9, a $9 donation.
Take our $9 challenge. Bill, I challenged you last time I was here, and I actually got $10 instead of $9.
You did, yes.
I said, you can skip your coffee or going to lunch today and do the $9 challenge, and you did it, and we appreciate that.
That's right. It went to something good. And also, it could be $9,900. It doesn't, whatever someone can do. And I also like that should money not be within someone's budget, that they can help.
Volunteering.
Volunteering.
My son goes to a school where community service is a must. He has 20 hours of community service he must do in the 6th grade. And I'll tell you right now, you can come to Canines for Cops and we'll be sure you can get your 20 hours or whatever, how many hours you need for community service.
In fact, you mentioned Martha Montalvo. She's going to be an upcoming guest. I haven't told you yet. She's going to be on the show coming up
amazing.
In November. Very nice. I was at your event and also got to meet Hal Martin. And I'm looking at that watch on your wrist. Is that from Hal Martin's?
Not this one, but I have another one that is.
There you go. You know, well, Hal says it's good to have more than one watch.
He did tell me that. He's actually trying to get me to trade one in. I was like, okay, we have to talk.
No doubt about it. Once again, the website, Roseanne?
It's caninesforcops.org.
Very nice. Roseanne Rogers. Thank you, Roseanne, for being on the show. Stay with us. We're coming right back with even more.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And now another very interesting, very driven guest. All accomplished great guest in so many ways. He is the one and only Steve Rosenberg with Empire Industries, LLC. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me again.
Well, there's so many things we can talk about. First of all, let's first tell people about Empire Industries, LLC, if they don't remember from the last time you were on.
Sure. Well, first, I wish I would have went first because all of these people that went before me are a lot more accomplished. So it would have been nicer to have gone first. And
I don't know about
I don't
that.
want to be the downslide here, but... So Empire Industries is a single-family property management company. We manage roughly about 600 properties all over Houston, operating all the way from the south down in Galveston County, up into Willis and Richmond, Rosenberg, on all the way up to Channelview. And our goal is, as a property management company, is to help investors gain that financial freedom to own an investment property, but at the same time, not have to deal with the tenants, toilets, and turmoil that come along with owning an investment property. So
Say that again.
tenants, toilets, and turmoil.
Has a nice ring to it, when
does,
you say it like
it does.
that.
And if anybody's owned properties or investment portfolios like myself, they understand that that is a very, very common term at some point in their investing life cycle.
Well, the other thing I think about as a homeowner for many years, and I think somewhere along the line, in fact, it was my first house, that we all have that opportunity somewhere when we maybe want to get a nicer house or or whatever. Most people consider renting their property out at some point. Not everyone does it, and when they do it, sometimes they do it on their own without the help of a professional like yourself. But it's something that affects every homeowner almost.
It does. And I think a lot of people, the general public, knows that owning real estate at some point is a great asset, and it's a great way to build wealth. They don't necessarily know what that means, and they don't know how to do it, but they like the idea of it. And so what happens is they kind of go at it without thinking it through and without actually having a business model wrapped around that, because at the core of owning a rental property is a business. It's got policies, procedures, structure. Probably the reason landlords are the highest sued in real estate is the landlord is actually the one that doesn't realize it's actually a business. And then when they have challenges and maybe they fail at it, they say, oh, this wasn't what I thought it would be. And the reality is they never really treated it like a business. They didn't do their due diligence and they didn't run it the right way. And to me, and I was one of those people, so I can say that with a grain of salt because I was one of those people that did not run them like a business when I first started buying properties. And I think the challenge that most people have is they don't realize that everything in life, investing, sports, is team oriented. And doing it on your own is not the key to success. And if you want to do something on your own, you're not going to be as talented as a team of, let's say, my company that has 20 employees just dedicated to managing investment portfolios. So one person is not going to do as good of a job as 20, let's say, on a leverage basis. And they don't realize the value of having that team to say, it's my time is worth X, and I can exponentially leverage out that time by having a professional team so that I can go live my life, have my job. I can have this property I lived in, turn that into a rental and never have to think about it again because I have a team taking care of it.
That's right. And also the big thing is that the person that rents the property out without a professional, without Empire Industries, is doing so. When we talk about laws, if there's so many laws that go for the tenant and for the owner of the property. However, if I stand before the judge and say, well, I didn't know that, is he going to say, we'll give you a mulligan?
Yeah, ignorance is no excuse. And, more to the point, as you know, I do a lot of international speaking, and 50 to 60% of our clients do not live in the state of Texas or even in the country. So we have a lot of investors from Asia and Australia and other Israel buying properties here, coming to us to help them make acquisitions. They don't know about fair housing laws. That doesn't exist over there. But because they own the property here, they're still bound by these Texas property code, equal fair housing rights, discrimination. So we have to many times educate these owners, say, look, you are running a business here in the state of Texas, in the city of Houston.
And that's a good point. People come to you where they have a property and say, Steve, would you manage it for me? But also people come to you around the United States and the world even where they say, Steve, I don't even want to see the property. I have X amount of dollars. Will you buy the property and manage it for me? You do that too.
Absolutely. And the main thing when I talk to an investor, when I explain this to them, is I try to explain to them that a piece of real estate when they're buying it is an inanimate object. It's a vehicle to get them a return. And that return is maybe their retirement, maybe it's cash flow. And it's really just a mathematical equation of I'm buying it for X and this is what my expectations. And it's just like a stock. And my same example to an investor is if you buy a stock and the stock is not performing, you don't go and knock on the doors of Pfizer or Chase and say, hey, what's going on, guys? You're not performing like I thought. You would just sell the stock because it's a non-emotional. But for some reason, when people buy a piece of real estate, they get emotionally intertwined. They feel that they have to fix it when the solution could be, it just may not be a good investment and maybe they need to sell it or they need to have another strategy.
Steve, let's tell people the website. And also on that website, there's past interviews that you have done on this show, other shows, and we'll talk about your show in a minute as well. Tell them the website.
Yes, so our website is Empire Industries LLC, and you can go to the blog page, and we've got blogs of me speaking in Australia, me speaking in different destinations, radio shows, everything we do, hundreds of video blogs, quick 2-3 minute blogs that are very educational, because I think to be the educator is the key to success. And by educating people, that to me is how you can elevate yourself above other people to make sure that we're helping other people.
Now, Steve, you have always, all the guests here on the show today especially have been inspiring to me from a business standpoint, also from a fun standpoint. Great people here all the time. You also are one of, I always say it when I get to introduce you at your speaking engagements, I say you're one of the most driven men in Houston. In addition to running Empire Industries, along with your team, Pete and Kevin, you also are a full-time international pilot.
I am.
I don't know.
I don't have a freeway exit named after me though, so there's that. But
that's coming. Yes.
Yeah, that's coming. I've got the name in. But yes, I am an international airline pilot, and that actually helps. I use that as a tool when I travel internationally because I set up meetings. And when I'm international and I'm in Asia or I'm in South America or I'm in Europe, I've actually been interviewed on TV shows in London before while I was on a layover. So I try to. Again, I'm still very driven, so I try to capitalize as much as I can. Because we all have 24 hours in the day, 168 hours a week. It's just how we use them.
That's right. I think there's also a number 1440. I don't know if that's how many minutes are in a day, but we can break it down to hours and minutes. But also the parallel between having the systems as a pilot, an international pilot, to having those systems should something go wrong. You've incorporated that into Empire Industries.
Absolutely. The ideology behind systemization and checklist and procedures, we've taken that because we're duplicating our business model and we're opening up in multiple cities. We've taken that ideology of systemizing our business and duplicating it through process, procedures, flowcharts. And now we're taking that and we're using my adherence to those, and that's how we're duplicating the business model.
You do a lot of speaking, Steve, and you like it.
I love it.
On the radio, everywhere else. Let's tell people about your radio show, too.
Sure. Our radio show, we are on AM 1070 on Saturdays at 1 p.m., and we love having guests. We it's all about real estate, and it's really about real estate is it's not just a transaction. You have to change your mindset. So
I knew you were going to say that.
I
word.
love
I saw
that.
it coming. Mindset. That's right.
It's a mindset. That's really all it is. It's a matter of changing how you think and who you are to become the person you want to be.
So people can hear that show. Actually, they can hear both shows at the same
hear
time.
both.
We have
Yep.
2 ears. We can
Yep.
hear our show
Yep.
at one and yours, or they can go to either podcast. Tell them where they could go to hear the show after the fact.
Sure. They can go to our website, EmpireIndustriesLLC.com. They can click on our radio show page, and right on the front page, there's actually a link that shows you, take you right to all of our podcasts of great guests. You've been one of them, obviously, our first guest.
I'm honored to have done that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's just been great, and we've had great responses. And with our office that we just opened in Clear Lake, that's been getting a lot of traction because of the radio show, and we're getting out there, and it just seems to be generating a lot of good buzz.
No doubt about it. Thank you so much. Tell them the website once again, Steve.
It's EmpireIndustriesLLC.com.
And we are going to come right back after this. Bill Nampick on Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. What a cast, and even more coming. Stay with us.
If you've been in the real estate industry for any length of time, you know unexpected and costly events can happen. Safeguard yourself against the unexpected with Real Estate Errors and Omissions Insurance, or E&O, through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Not all E&O insurance policies are created equal. How confident are you that your current E&O policy fully protects you? Stewart Insurance and Risk Management offers expertise in the real estate industry and tailors your coverage to correctly manage your risk. With Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, facing the unexpected just became a lot easier. Safeguard your future with real estate E&O insurance through Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Call today at 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com to request tailored insurance options for you and your business.
And we are with Hal Martin, Hal Martin's Watch and Jewelry. He has been in Houston for many years. People see the store on Westheimer for many years. Hal, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Good to be on.
It is exciting to meet you and to be here in your store. We're actually on location. But first of all, tell people how long you've been in business and have been in such a part of Houston, Texas.
Well, Bill, it started actually when I was back in high school. My dad gave me my first watch. And one thing, we all start out as collectors, and you start collecting watches and collecting watches. And then it comes a point when you want to get another watch, but you realize you better give up one if you're going to get one. And that's the day you cross the line and you go from collector to dealer right then.
That's right. It's okay to have more than one watch, right?
That's true. Actually, I hope people do that. And so back in 1973 is really when I kicked off the business and was mainly dealing wholesale at that point and looking for vintage watches and working out of an office. And then in the late 80s, we went more to where we had a showroom and an office building, and then slowly gravitated and found our way here to Westheimer, which has been a godsend. It's been absolutely fabulous.
And let's go back to that idea of the watch, because now you're making me think of my first watch, and I want to say it was maybe a $12 Timex way back when I was a little kid. But there is something special about watches in particular. As you've been in this profession for so long, tell people what you think that is, and what does it mean to you? The watch is so special.
Well, I think it all goes back to the fact that a good friend of my dad said that in the old days when they grew up and a man closed a big business deal or had something go through, he usually went out and got himself a new pair of boots or a new suit, and if it was a mega deal, he'd probably buy that new Cadillac. The watch has now become that symbol of success and that I really accomplished something. I've closed a big case, I closed a big real estate deal, or I've made my company successful. So a lot of times people ask me, what is it, who are your customers? And I said, my customers are people that are successful. And the watch becomes the reward they give to themselves that they're proud of. And usually it's going to be a high dollar watch, a Swiss watch. Obviously in our industry, Rolex drives the train. So my dad gave me my first Rolex when I was in high school because I was doing well in high school, and that was my reward. And so it's developed over the years that we've ended up seeing, especially with Rolex, they nicknamed it the Texas Timex, becoming that reward for people that were successful. And then once you end up having a passion for it, like I said, I have a lot of watches, and I like other people to have a lot of watches too.
That's right, and that's a super worthy cause. Let's tell people, certainly people hear the radio show, we're based here in Houston, Texas, but a lot of times people hear online or even at the time of broadcast on radio apps, and they may be listening from somewhere else in Houston, but those that have not been into your store, give them an idea what they're going to see when they walk into Hal Martin's.
Very good question. The thing that makes us very unique, we have become now the largest store in the state of Texas, and definitely in Houston, Texas, dealing in pre-owned high-end watches. And that's the key. It's pre-owned, and that's where it's like buying that expensive car, but you want to get it at the demo price, and so you're saving a lot of money. And the best part about a watch, we can make a watch look like it's brand new. And the main thing we want to take care of is the watches we buy and put into our showcases are ones that are in excellent condition and like new condition. So that's what's made us unique, is the fact that you can come here and see, over 400 watches on display, and every major Swiss brand is represented, and they're all in like new condition, but the savings are hundreds of thousands and thousands of dollars.
And also, I'll make an observation, until that watch finds its new owner, the watch is in the custody of people that are passionate about the watch and all the jewelry you have here.
Oh, absolutely. I consider the watches my children. And so when I come
in
the morning,
under foster care
right.
for a while.
I come in the morning and I look at the showcases and I go through there and make sure everything just looks right. And in fact, when we're setting up the watches in the morning, actually we wear white gloves that actually were sent from Rolex, that we're making sure every watch is putting there and looking absolutely perfect. It's kind of like you going down to the car dealership and you want to see the car that's all nice and shiny and taken care of. Well, they clean them up. Well, we make these watches look absolutely perfect.
Okay, Hal, in addition to the watches, let's talk about some of the other things that people can find here as gifts or things that they'd like to own.
Well, the other area that we really specialize in, Bill, is custom jewelry. Tarang Patel, who's my partner, has been in business in the jewelry industry for over 20 years, and he is an incredible designer of custom jewelry. And a lot of that's what we're known for. Customers come in here and we will take their ideas and putting them in their dreams and putting them into exactly the kind of piece that they want. And we usually can save them so much money because and let me bring this up. When I say we save them a lot of money, because our attitude is entirely different than a regular jewelry store. If you go into a regular jewelry store, and especially in the old days, the markups were as much as 400%. We come from the watch industry. The watch industry deals with an MSRP, a manufacturer's suggested retail price. So we've got a baseline that we start with. Diamonds and jewelry do not have a baseline. It's basically the perceived value and the relationship that that person tells that person, when their customer, when they're dealing with them. We take the same approach that we do in watches. The watches will have a value that's created because of that MSRP and a value that it sustains and holds throughout its lifetime. Well, we take that same approach, and when we're selling jewelry, we don't mark up the jewelry. We usually will work on 10 to 15% when we're doing a custom ring for somebody. You take any other jewelry store in town and you go to them, and you're going to be paying anywhere from 200 to 400%.
Very interesting. Also, let's tell people here in Houston, we look at the economy. I got here in Houston in 1982, and as the economy will fluctuate, I would think that your store and your work is somewhat of a barometer of the economy at any given point. Would that be so? And if so, tell us about it.
Well, there's several answers to that particular question. When we went through the downturn in 2008, what we saw is, and this happens even today in this economy that we're in today, people will do two things. They will fix up what they have. So whether instead of going out and buying a new couch, you get it reupholstered. Instead of getting a new watch, you get your watch cleaned and serviced and brought up to like new conditions. Well, the other thing that happens is also the value of a pre-owned watch, where you're saving so much money, becomes so much more attractive than going in and paying full retail for a new watch. And so in bad times, people gravitate more to pre-owned watches, and then that's the best thing that happens to us. Because once you find out your savings and the kind of watch you can buy and save so much money, once we get you in the first time, we own you for life.
That sounds great. Hal, tell people your website and the phone number, how they can reach you.
It's halmartins.com. Our phone number is very easy, 713-785-1111.
One more time on the number.
713-785-1111.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hal Martin right here at Hal Martin's. Thank you, Hal.
You got it, Bill. Thanks so much.
And welcome to the show, Michelle Steffen Stewart, Insurance and Risk Management. Welcome,
Yes.
Michelle.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
It's time to talk insurance, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Well, as we think about those, we know Stewart Insurance and Risk Management serve and help people daily all over the United States, no doubt about it. But those that have been in Houston, say, for the last year or so, we've had so much rain. Let's talk about flooding.
Oh, my gosh.
And insurance.
Definitely. So in the last 2 years, we've seen more flooding in Texas than we have historically in the last 100 years. So it's definitely a significant risk factor. Flood, which the definition of flood is rising water, is specifically excluded in every home policy in Texas and nationwide, typically. So it's a huge factor at claim time when you have astronomical flood occurrences that are not historical. Again, it's been over 100 years since we've seen the type of flooding that occurred this last 3-6 months here in Houston. So because it's specifically excluded, it's imperative that you evaluate that when you look at your homeowner's insurance as well.
No doubt about it. I would say people should get flood insurance if they're in the Houston area, or if they're anywhere else, they should look at having flood insurance because
Without
it is
question.
a totally separate thing, right?
Without question. And so really everybody is in a flood zone. And I hear people every day say, I'm not in a flood zone. My
You're in a flood zone.
My lender hasn't asked me for insurance. I don't need it. Well, the difference is whether or not it's a high-risk zone or a low-risk zone, but every home is in a flood zone. So we can very quickly run through a flood zone determination and let you know what flood zone you're in, and then determine what that risk factor looks like and the premium value for coverage for your home.
And I'm thinking about that. You define flooding as rising water, but when you think about the dwelling and you think about the home, water can enter almost anywhere. It can enter from the sides, from wind. It could enter through the roof, from perhaps a bad roof or a bad area on the roof, or damage to it. So it could hit us from any direction. Not to mention the piping inside the home. Water can be a peril.
Absolutely, without question. So, it's funny that you say that, because I think there's sudden accidental, which is the burst pipe type of coverage inside the home. That's not flood related. There's windstorm issues that cause rain to enter either from the sides or from above, and it's probably, again, not flood issues. So the definition is rising water. So it's unfortunately a misconception in the marketplace. Customers typically don't know the difference, and so we pride ourselves in being able to detail the differences and then build a product around what meets each need for them.
Indeed, and you actually walk through the process with someone as we think about where water can be a peril,
Absolutely.
as you did with me in my policy.
So I know what matters to me most as a homeowner, and I really try to educate and influence and provide feedback that most people may not know about in that buying process. Everybody has to have insurance. It's a requirement most of the time. If you have a loan, it's required. And so it's important, and it's vital to really know what you're buying, and it's not a commodity, which so many people have unfortunately fallen into that mindset.
And I would tell people this: if they talk to you or anyone at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, there is no charge to ask questions, to either check the policy they have or to see about getting a new policy that might be better, even sometimes less expensive. I guarantee you, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes with you or one of your insurance people, they're going to walk away saying, boy, I'm a lot smarter, I'm a lot more aware of the risk. And right?
Absolutely, and that's our goal. Absolutely. At the end of the day, when the consumer, the home buyer, the homeowner has a conversation with us and they walk away, they need to be better informed, and that's our goal every day.
And Michelle, if they want to have that conversation, what should they do?
You can call us 866-845-4676.
One more time.
866-845-4676.
And with the last 30 seconds, what else should we know, Michelle?
So, tip: sudden and accidental water damage is burst pipe, slow seepage or leakage coverage, which is a slow leak you don't see. It's back behind the sheetrock. It's slow over time. Most policies specifically exclude that, and it's important. So evaluate your policy. Give us a call. Let us take a look at your policy with you, and we'll let you know if that's covered or not.
And also, I'll put a tip forth as well, and this is something I do if I leave the house for vacation for 2 days or for 5 days. I turn my water off until I get back home. Common sense, right?
Brilliant.
No doubt about it.
Smart guy, Bill.
Hey, it took me a while to learn that. In the meantime, Michelle, tell them again how they can reach you.
866-845-4676.
Thank you so much, Michelle
Thank you.
Steppen with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. And welcome back to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. What a great show. Super people all the way around. Let's add one more super rock star. Her name is Natasha Livingston with Stewart Title, Memorial, and Royal Oaks. Natasha, what's up?
Hey, Bill, I'm good. How are you?
I'm inspired. I get excited on all the shows, but when we have incredible individuals, so many in a row, it blows my mind.
I know. Everyone is amazing just to hear all the everything, the energy that's going on and everything that everyone's doing, from pilots to Cane Island and Soleil and her yacht and Roseanne and the K9s. It's awesome. I'm just glad to be here.
Energy, ambition, drive, all those things. And when we talk about it, Roseanne mentioned the buzz. Now, you used to be the buzz lady, right?
I was. I branded myself, yes, as the buzz lady. It was funny because it just kind of that was my job, is to create, I did create buzzes, of course, but also to talk about what was buzzing in Houston all the time. And that was my gig.
And that still stays with you, I think, when you go
out.
It does.
It totally does. I was a Rotary. I used to watch you on TV all the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting so old. Don't date me, please.
Well, I will encourage people, too, to see. They hear the show right now, but you are so beautiful. You should be on TV, and you'll be on our YouTube channel at the very least. So and you're waving to it now. So
wave to the camera.
We tell people to go to Bill Napick radio shows. Hey, real quick, Natasha, tell people the coordinates over there at Memorial City Center, Stewart Title. That's a great place to close a real estate transaction.
It really is, Bill. We enjoy it over there. We're located right in City Center, which is in the center of the city. such a tongue twister. And we're right off the exit of the Beltway and Memorial, located right in the mix of all the fine restaurants. There's shopping. There's great parking, which Bill always makes sure that we know of that. And there are palm trees. But on top of that, we have a great team there at my office on Memorial. Nancy Baker Jones is our branch manager and senior escrow officer. She does a fantastic job, as well as we have the wonderful Kathy and Yolanda. It's just a good team and a good feel, and we strive to provide the best service for our agents.
What is that number over there, Natasha?
The number is 713-468-8900. Again, the number is 713-468-8900.
And as they drive on the way to Cane Island, here comes Dan. Dan is back. People are going to Cane Island. They're taking Cane Island Drive. They could wave at us at the Memorial City Center. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. What a great day, great show, great guests.
It is always great, but boy, people, I could only implore them, if they haven't seen this Cane Island or Meridiana, and I've seen Cane Island, it is spectacular, a whole new look in a development, and the ideas that you bring are so refreshing and so awesome. Tell us again.
Well, they're unique. So the best way to experience what we're doing is come out for the tour. Come out and see the amenities. Print ad and just doesn't convey it. So please come out.
It really doesn't. In fact, when you were talking about those lights, I want to be out there at night to see that display as I drive under the entrance at Cane Island.
Yep. Yeah, the new arches at Cane Island, they should all be burnt orange leaves. And when the car senses, the arch senses the car's approach, the leaves blow up as if the car stirred them up. And that's our main entrance into the community, that relaxing, I'm home feeling.
And people love that. Tell us another word about Meridiana, Texas.
Meridiana is unprecedented dedication to education. We work secretly with the Alvin School District for about a year and a half. So in addition to all the amenities that we already discussed at Cane Island that are likewise in Meridiana, we have 2 outdoor learning labs that are tied directly to the curriculum K through 12. Elementary school, Meridiana, already open, and they just announced that they're building the next football stadium in Meridiana.
Dan Naef, Rise
That's really
Communities.
cool. That's cool.
And Roseanne, tell them again about the event coming up, K9s for Cops.
So it's our biggest event in the entire year. It's called Unleashed, and we're honoring the interim
You're
chief of
unleashed, and
police.
so is the event. How
We
about
all
that?
are. And the great thing is we're honoring an amazing woman. Interim chief of police for Houston Police is Martha Montalvo, and she has 36 years of service to the Houston Police Department. Come out, see our canines, of course, but, tell her thank you for all her service that she's done to
That's
our community.
right.
We'd love to see all of you.
And each and every police officer. Mr. Rosenberg, what should we know?
Well, we talk about education. We are actually offering a free owner education series. It'll be this week coming up, and it's free for anyone. We normally have it just for our clients, but it's such a good topic. We've had so many people ask us to open it up, and it's going to be on the pitfalls of owning investment properties. So if they go to our website, EmpireIndustriesLLC.com, they can register for free, RSVP, and they can be our guest.
Now, Steve, I don't know if you notice it, but when you fly over as you take off and land, we were waving at you at our Memorial City Center office, right, Natasha?
Yes, and I
Yes,
saw the
we are.
exit. I saw the exit
saw-
for the
Yay!
freeway, too. It's all
What about
coming
the palm
together.
trees? The
It's
palm
all
There
coming
you
together.
go. Well,
He's
thank
that
you.
good of a pilot.
Yes.
He is.
That
You're
good.
that good.
Yes.
Steve, tell them again the website.
EmpireIndustriesLLC.com.
A lot of great website. K9s for Cops.
Yes.org. Please come see.
CaneIsland.com, right? And what's the other one? MeridianaTexas.com?
Correct.
Super cool. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate it. A lot of great things, a lot of great, driven, ambitious individuals on this show, successful all the way around. Thank you all for listening. Go to Stewart.com. You can hear this show again and again at Stewart.com/Houston, that is. You can hear all the shows. This is show number 141. We also are looking forward to Martha Montalvo being on the show very soon. So Stewart.com/Houston. And again, to see the beautiful cast right here, Bill Napick Radio Shows. That's my YouTube channel. It'll be there marked as number 141. No doubt about it. Bill Napick Radio Shows. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Woohoo! Bye, Bill. Bye. Great show. Thanks for having us.